Honestly, guys, it's not pretty, but here's a video of me on day 23 breaking my fast with the tiniest glass of coconut water. Check it out. Rumi, this is a special moment. I haven't eaten anything in 22 days. You've never done that. Cheers. Right, guys, I water fasted for 22 days. I've experienced some massive changes in my body for the better. In this video, I'm gonna share my results. But I wanna address what I think is a big elephant in the room, so to speak. And that's that, like, I don't feel like what I'm showing on the outside is really a true reflection of my vitality on the inside. Does that make sense? Like during this fast, I'm gonna go over what healed in my body. Basically, my whole gastrointestinal system, my gut, is healed, and that's phenomenal. But on the outside, like, I'm still a little bit skinny. All right, that video I showed you guys, I recorded that about 2 months ago. I broke my fast a little under 2 months ago, and I've been slowly rebuilding, making other videos, biding my time before I make this video on my results, because the ego in me wants to come out and say, yes, look at me now, all my muscles. And I'm gaining a lot of weight. I've put on about 11 pounds in the last 3 weeks. And if I waited 3, 4, 5, 6 more months, I would come on and be even bigger and stronger. But I don't know, I just feel like it's a lot more authentic to come out and share my journey as I go. But when I do feel like my outer physical body is a reflection of what I feel like it is to be thriving, I will link that video now. I'll probably call it something like, look at me now, or something. So if you're watching this video, this one, right now as I've posted it, it won't be there yet, but eventually it will be. Just so you guys can see, like, yeah, I am on track. I just couldn't wait any longer. I want to share these results as I'm going because they've been, it sounds so cliche when I say this, but they've been life-changing. Like, my life is truly better, phenomenally better after this fast. And there's another factor I'm going to share about a little bit later as well, which maybe you can guess. Okay, now guys, if you want to know why I fasted, what was wrong, what I was suffering from in my body for all those years, I'm not going to go into that in this video because that's the old me. I don't have diarrhea anymore. I mean, I guess I have to go into it a little bit to express the difference, but I made a whole video on that. I'll link it now. It goes into why I fasted and also how fasting is actually beneficial. I also made another video, you would call that part 2, where I share my whole experience, what it's like to actually fast for 3 weeks, because it's a pretty phenomenal experience mentally, physically, spiritually. But this video is on my results. So what were they? Basically, I have solid poops now. As a man who suffered from diarrhea every day, multiple times a day for 7 or 8 years, I now have solid poops. Like, what I was suffering from, whatever was going on in my body, the inflammation, the injury, the badness, all right, it has healed to the point where I can eat my normal meals and have digestion that actually works. Like, that's just it. I don't know how else to describe it. You got to remember that symptoms in the body are a good thing. Like, it wasn't the diarrhea I was trying to heal. It was the problem in my body that was causing the diarrhea that I'm trying to heal, Like, every symptom isn't the problem, it's actually the cure. Our bodies have built in these mechanisms. Like, diarrhea is where you push in water into your large intestine to flush out maybe foreign matter that's in there. Or potentially there's inflammation or injury. Like, I was never diagnosed by any medical professional I wasn't given a label as to what was wrong in my body. I think for about 5 years when I was still living robustly, I just didn't do much research into it, and doctors were kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man, you got the runs, but you look healthy. Medical professionals, they can kind of gaslight you a bit like that. Well, you look fine, your blood tests are all good, and I'd be like, yeah, but I've had diarrhea for every day for about 5 years, surely that's a problem. Yeah, so in this fast, like, it's not the runs that have healed. It's the mechanisms in my body that were injured that have been causing the runs. Does that make sense? I could go into further examples, but I feel like that makes sense, right? And yeah, that's it. From my mouth to my butt, the system actually works now, and it can digest food. And another perk of what I've experienced in my healing, and this is all kind of pieces of the same whole now. It's just my digestion works is in a nutshell the result. But some other cool things I've experienced are like I don't get bloated anymore. I can eat a normal amount of food and my belly doesn't start to expand. And you might be thinking, Aaron, in the past you were eating a lot of fruit and maybe that was why you were getting bloated. But no, like I varied my diet. I tried all kinds of things. I ate tons of meat on occasion. I ate tons of fruit. I would binge and go for sushi and have pizza. Like I tried all kinds of stuff and I would always feel bloated. And what I really had was an insatiable appetite. Like I would eat and eat and eat and eat, and I would just never feel full. Like I would go out for dinner with friends. I would eat more than anyone else there, and yet I would remain the skinniest person there because my body, I was physically consuming it, but I wasn't digesting it. Like my body was saying, oh, there's new food in here. Well, we need to expel it as soon as possible with the runs because because it's trying to heal something in there that I wasn't giving it the opportunity to do. And now post-fast, I can eat food and I don't have this insatiable appetite anymore. I eat and I go, oh, I feel satisfied. It's such a beautiful feeling to like eat food and feel like it's nourishing your body. When you haven't had this experience for literally years, it's just a phenomenal experience. And I mean, that's it, guys. Like I can't really go into much more detail than that. Before I had diarrhea, I wasn't digesting my food. I felt bloated. I had an insatiable appetite because nothing worked. And now everything works. Now, I'm not going to say I'm like 100% robust like I was when I was 15 years old. You got to think, I hammered my body into the ground. I completely destroyed my system for a good 8 years. And while fasting is very restorative, it's like the speediest route to recovery. 3 weeks to heal almost a decade's worth of abuse is, it's asking a lot of my body. Helicopter. So that's the story. That's what I've healed. And I can say with extreme conviction, guys, I haven't felt this good in many, many years. I have more energy than I know what to do with. Last week, I worked out like 3 or 4 times, and I haven't worked out in probably a year and a half. I've been doing stair climbs up and down from the beach. I'm going. I have so much energy that I feel like my body can't keep up with it. The other day, I hurt my elbow a little bit because I was working out. It was chest day, and chest day is the best day. But what's funny is I feel like my body is still recovered. Like I took a big hit with this fast. I was already malnourished before the fast. And then I fasted. Healing, yes, but like this rebuilding phase has been a bit of, it's been challenging to actually work my way up from ground zero again. So my body's trying to catch up with all the energy I have. But, okay, caveat. Now here's where it gets, I think, a little bit hazy because this water fast wasn't the only thing I've done in the last couple of months that I think has had the most pivotal impact on my health and well-being. I did this water fast, but then I also switched to eating a pure carnivore diet. And for those of you critical thinkers out there, you'll understand, well, Aaron, you didn't just change one variable, you changed 2. Now, I want to address this because I think both have been monumental in this journey of healing. But all those results I listed in terms of like my gut healing, that was all observed in the first 3 or 4 weeks after the fast and I was still on the same dietary protocol. So that was all purely fast. But in terms of this new vitality I'm experiencing, this new robustness, I just feel like you can see it in my face. Like I have more life in my body than I did for years. And I can't pin that all on the fast. Like, the reality is the fasting is only as good as the rebuilding phase. And I know this video is meant to be about my fast, but you can't really talk about one without the other. They're two sides of the same coin. You know, like now switching to a species appropriate diet where I eat what I believe a human is actually designed to eat and thrive on, like, of course I'm gonna feel better. But at the same time, I don't think I'd be having these amazing results on this diet, eating all these nutrients and vitamins and minerals had I not done the fast, because I don't think I'd be able to absorb it to the same degree. Like, for example, I mentioned earlier, years ago, this has been such a long journey. I did try eating a very high meat diet. I was working with a health coach at the time, and I did feel better for 3 or 4 months. But then my body just completely crashed, and I felt worse than I had like almost ever in my whole life. Because the thing was, yes, I was eating a bunch of meat and I was getting some nourishment, but I was building on nothing. There was no foundation. I still had the runs the whole time. This is the first time in the last 8 years that I've had tons of energy and had solid poops. Guys, having solid poops it's so underrated. Like, sitting down on the toilet, propping your knees up on the squatty potty. It's always good to get that squatting position. You guys should know that. And just dropping a beautiful movement in the morning. Enjoy it, guys. I do. There's nothing better. So yeah, guys, I would attribute the healing I facilitated to this fast and the vitality I'm experiencing now to both the fast and this new diet that allows me to actually get proper human nutrition. It's the duality of healing. And I feel like everything I've suffered through in the last 3 years and all the failures I've experienced along the way have given me so much wisdom to understand like how to actually facilitate healing in the body. I feel like I'm one of the few people that I've encountered that actually understands this principle. Like, I've worked with a health coach in the past who tried to give me certain nutrition and make notes of my different vitamins and minerals and balances in the body. But like, the reality is we were rebuilding where there was no foundation. Like, I've seen people work with health coaches for years, and I feel like they're just going in circles because they don't understand this principle of how the body heals. The body is always trying to heal itself. We just need to give it the right environment to do so, to rest and heal and regenerate, and then give it adequate nutrition to rebuild. It's a simple process. Like, forgive me, guys, but I do love a good analogy. So let's dive into one, all right? Imagine you broke your ankle. You broke your ankle, all right? And the first thing you do is try and go to physio and rebuild it and do strength exercises and stretches and stuff. It's not gonna work because it's broken. There is no foundation to rebuild, all right? So then, okay, it's broken. So let's put it in a cast. Okay, it's in a cast now. We leave it there for 2 months. Now the structures, the bones, ligaments, tendons have all healed up, okay? But they're very weak. Now, if we just leave it in that cast forever or just lay in bed forever, that's also not good because it's gonna stay weak and pathetic forever. Like, you always need both sides of the coin. You need to rest and you need to rebuild. Now, bear in mind, I'm not saying everyone needs to fast. I think most people aren't injured and sick enough to the point where just a change in diet to like an actual ancestrally appropriate diet for humans wouldn't heal them fully. But for some people, like, I don't know, of all the people I've met, I've been in the top tier of people really, really ill and debilitated by problems in their body. And for me, I think this fast was integral. So yeah, guys, those are my results. That was the results from my fast, and additionally, the results of eating an appropriate diet. If you guys are curious, or I totally lost you when I said I switched to a carnivore diet, I made a video, I'll link it here, as to why I made that switch and why I think it's been one of the 2 most imperative things I've done on this journey back into vitality, back into living like a human, guys. And now I feel great. I have solid poops. My libido's coming back. I have more energy than I know what to do with. And it is all thanks to this fast and this change in diet. I actually have a drum here, just because I do. The body is an absolute miracle machine. It is always trying to heal itself. We just need to give it the environment to do so. All right? I love you guys. Now go get some sun.